Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
Welcome to episode number 306.
Wow.
A continuation of the Q&A.
Yeah, so we did our first Q&A 2 weeks ago, but we got so many questions from you, we did not get to finish all the way.
Yeah, I will quickly say, though, if you didn't listen to 2 weeks ago, number 304, we talked about, what were our topics? Systems, tools, and workflow, mindset, confidence, and business growth.
Okay.
Okay?
This topic today, we're going to start with client communication and relationships.
Oh, our favorite.
Would you like me to read the first question?
Please.
I would love to hear your thoughts on how to reconnect with past clients when a long time has passed since you last reached out. I usually do a yearly pie giveaway at Thanksgiving, but I could not do it last year, and now I feel disconnected and I'm not sure what to do to connect with my clients again. This almost could have been in mindset.
Yeah.
Because nobody realizes that they haven't heard from you.
Right. That's just a you thing.
Correct.
They're like, what? We haven't talked in a while? Okay.
Yeah, she didn't give me my pie.
I mean, right. Or like just make spring pie day.
Yeah.
Like it. Oh.
What is it? What's the number?
It's March 14th. It's too late now.
Oh, shoot.
But that is a great point. If you ever miss pie day again, do it on literal pie, like the
pie
math
day.
number pie day.
3.14.
Yeah.
Et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Many et ceteras.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's go back. This is definitely a mindset issue. Do not keep yourself from reaching out again because you haven't in a while. It doesn't matter if it's been a year, 2 years, 10 years. I don't care.
And when you reach out, don't mention how long it's been.
No. Sorry.
Hey, I'm so sorry I haven't kept in touch with you.
They're
Guess
like-
what? They haven't kept in touch with you either.
Yeah, who cares? Just like start from a mass email is probably the easiest way and just be like, hey, this happened.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see this coming event in our area? Something.
Just resume as normal.
resume
as
as normal.
But this is why I like going through my database spreadsheet.
yeah.
And when I get to a name, touching them somehow.
Right.
But honestly, social media is the best way.
Yes.
If you can go, when you get to that person's name on your database and you go to their Facebook or Instagram or something and comment on their last post, a good, genuine comment with good length to it.
Yeah.
That is you popping in their life and showing up, and they're going to get an alert that Alyssa has commented on your photo, and it makes you feel good when you get a comment. It doesn't have to be this huge grand gesture.
No, and it doesn't have to be the whole database at once. It doesn't yes, that's great that you did the pies. It's no big deal that you didn't do them.
Correct.
It's just no big deal.
Plenty of agents do stuff that is not annual.
Yeah.
Also, even if you wanted to just crank out a few handwritten letters while you're trying to reconnect with your database, to just say,
Right.
hey, I wanted to thank you again for your support in my business. I
Yeah.
always enjoyed working with you. I'm here if you ever need anything. Something simple that just reminds them about you.
Yeah.
Maybe put a business card in there so they have all your up-to-date email and phone number and everything. But nobody knows. It reminds me of, I've used this example before, when new moms do the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month posts.
Yes.
And they post, oh, this is 3 days late, but my baby just turned 4 months 3 days ago. And I wanted to be like,
we're good.
you didn't have to say that. You could have just said 4 months old.
Great.
Nobody knows.
Check.
Or cares that it's 3 days late.
Right. We're judging ourselves far too harshly.
Yeah.
These
just
other
reach out.
people have their own lives.
Done is better than perfect.
That's right. And
I think James Clear had a quote on that.
Tell me.
It said something like, a year-long fight can be resolved in one phone call. Like you could have not talked to someone for a whole year, and then you pick up the phone and it's over.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
something that we build it up so
I
much,
know.
and it could just be fixed.
Right.
Or gosh, I haven't run in so long. I haven't gone for a run in so long. Run to the end of your street.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5
1 minute,
minutes.
2
and
minutes.
all of a sudden, you ran.
Yeah.
You broke the...
Yeah, you can very easily break the streak.
Yeah, you broke the mental block that you were
I
having.
really like that.
After getting such a great response to our buyer brokerage agreement cover letter, we decided to make one for you to present with your listing agreement so that you can give another confident explanation of your services to your sellers.
Here is what you're going to get inside of our listing agreement cover letter. The commitments to your sellers, our marketing plan example, so you can add to it and take away, but it's got our marketing plan, the explanation on how commissions work and what your seller's going to be paying for, and general tips for your sellers.
We hope that you will find this very helpful on your listing appointments, and you can head over to hustlehumblypodcast.com/listing to get yours.
Next question. Do you have any tips for good verbiage to use for handwritten cards? This kind of goes in line.
It does.
I'm finding this is helping so much in this slow time with bringing in my past clients, but I would like to liven it up a bit.
Oh.
Alyssa, do you have any ideas of what you would say to liven it up a bit?
I actually just got a really cute handwritten card, and it was one of those ones that you can bury because it's flowers.
Oh my God, I don't know about this.
The envelope
paper?
and the paper of the card was like a different texture.
And
On the back of it, it says, "Bury me and water me."
No.
Yes, it's so cute.
That is so cute.
And it was like, I was just thinking of you and wanted to send you flowers, but you'll have to grow them.
oh my God, that's hilarious.
And I thought that's a really cute idea.
Who was it from?
It was actually from another agent. I had written her a letter because she had gone through something hard, and she wrote me a thank you letter back.
With the flowers.
With the flower envelope.
That is precious.
It felt like recycled paper.
Okay.
You know, it just had that rough
Could you see the seeds?
Once I read that, I was like looking at it, and you could tell that with water it would dissolve, but it was durable, plenty durable to make it through the mail.
Yeah.
But I thought, what a cute idea to just do for anybody.
Okay, that's really cute. I wanted to send you flowers, but you'll have to grow them. That's your whole statement.
There you go. Next.
Enjoy.
No.
I also said, look, number one, get out a Sharpie, a marker, so you don't have to write as many words. That's a tip I learned many years ago from I don't know who, but I'm like, oh, genius.
I love the Sharpie pens.
You just write big. It takes 2 sentences, you're done. Maybe 1 sentence. But here's an example, all right? Let's just say you saw someone in your database on Facebook or Instagram, and they planted their summer veggie garden. You're like, that's cute. Maybe you liked it. Maybe you didn't. Why don't you just grab your pen, your Sharpie pen, and your note card and be like, hi, friend. I saw you just planted a veggie garden for the summer. Wishing you much success. Hope to see you soon. Katie.
The end.
That's it.
It doesn't have to always be this huge solicitation or advertisement.
Imagine if someone saw your Instagram post and then sent you a handwritten note?
I honestly think if you are slower right now, and even if you're not that slow, taking this time to go through your database and each person going to their social media, commenting on the last thing, and then sending them a letter about it.
I'll give you another example. I have a client who bought a house with me last year. It had a pool in the backyard. They did not previously have a pool. I noticed on her Instagram stories a couple of days ago, this is pretty warm here already, her son was swimming, and she was like, so excited, this is our backyard evenings now. I feel like all I have to do is grab the note card and be like, saw the pool was open for the summer already. Love it. Enjoy.
The end.
Yeah. Loving that you're enjoying that backyard.
Right. It doesn't have
warms
to be
my heart.
Yeah.
This is not rocket science.
I think just avoid the, hey, just checking in.
Let me know if you know anybody looking to buy or sell invest.
Right. Don't do that.
Don't
do
do
that. Just make it personal. You'll be fine.
I think it's pretty easy to track someone down. And look, you know something about these people. Even if they're not posters and you don't know what they're literally doing right now, just be like, hey, hope you're enjoying, the weather lately. Literally. Or like, hey, I hope your daughter's enjoying 3rd grade. It's almost over.
Right. Can you believe it's almost summer? What are y'all doing this summer?
Yeah. That's it.
So simple.
Okay. You want to do the next one?
This is the opposite conversation.
I want to stay on the nice one.
I know. I would love to hear more about hard conversations with clients. What do you actually say? What are your go-to lines that seem to help soften the delivery? How do you have a come to Jesus, but in a soft, delicate way?
The way you said Jesus just now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I come to Jesus, but in a soft, delicate way for buyers and sellers.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know that not every message needs a soft, delicate delivery.
Correct.
I think sometimes we have to be a little more firm if you're having a hard conversation, which is what this question said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can't be... All right, number one, I always say, and I love this, saying, you get more flies with honey.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe in being nice to people and being kind. And I can do it in a soft and delicate way, and I think that they're going to listen, then great. But if it is a hard conversation and I'm having to relay difficult information, for instance, I had a seller with something in their house that they loved, but a couple of the showings commented that they did not love it.
Sure.
So I had to pass it along, and they're like, it was paint. It was the paint color of something. And they were like, I just don't understand why people are so obsessed about this paint color. I think it's really pretty. And I'm like, I understand. I said, I actually think it's really pretty too. But more than one person has noticed it because maybe they don't love that color. And that's okay. I said, I am just required to tell you the feedback we're receiving in case there's something you want to do to help remedy this for the next showing.
Right.
I can't help it if they don't like your color that you like. That's your color.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But she's like, I cannot believe this is what's making my house not sell. And I'm like, well, this is all they told us.
Sure.
So if you want to fix it, you can. I don't know.
Well, I have 9 listings right now.
Okay.
So that's 9 people that come home every day and see my name on a stake in their yard.
With
and
a smiling face.
And they wonder, why hasn't she sold my house yet?
Alyssa.
And I continue to get more and more calls for new listings.
You're like, I don't know if I have room for you on this ride.
These are some of my go-tos lately. Hey, the real estate crystal ball has never been fuzzier.
Yeah.
I'm a very data-driven person, and I like to communicate the facts. The patterns have been very scattered, so the data is a little bit harder to interpret.
I love this. The real estate crystal ball has never been fuzzier.
Yeah, and I've actually been using the emoji when I'm texting.
With the crystal ball?
Yeah, the
You're
crystal
like,
ball emoji. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, my goal right now is to basically prepare you that we're looking at a higher day on market. Your house has to be pristine. The cleanest, most neutral, decluttered house on the market. We have to win.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm giving them a pep talk.
Yes, like a coach.
Yeah. And I'm not holding back because if they don't want to do that, they don't have to use me.
Yeah.
I just can't take another listing.
And I think that's actually kind of a nice way for you to be like, listen, my personal inventory is too full for me to take on another listing that isn't primed and ready for the market. So maybe I could put you on a wait list if you don't want to do your homework.
Yeah.
You could be on the wait list.
If you want to do your homework, I'm here all day.
Yeah,
I will do this for you. Also, I tell them now more than ever, I'm just trying to make sure I don't overpromise anything.
Yeah.
And if you're interviewing other agents, I understand that there are some agents that will do that. But I'm here to prepare you for the worst, work for the best, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I like that.
Also, I notice sometimes when I've gotten the listing now. So let's say I've gotten the listing. I'm here now for the staging consultation before photos. I'm pretty hard on my sellers, always have been, especially now. Every now and then, if I say something that I feel like hits a nerve or makes them look a little sad, I say, I would like to take this moment to tell you that I'm only doing this because I'm getting your house ready for the market. If I was here for dinner, none of this would bother me.
Yes, this is perfectly fine.
And if you came to my house right now,
I couldn't sell it.
I could not sell my house right now, but my house is not for sale.
Right.
And they laugh.
Yeah.
They laugh every single time. And it just sort of relieves the tension.
Yeah.
Because you feel judged.
Yeah, this is not a judgment.
So I use that a lot. If you came to my house right now, you would feel so much better.
Yeah.
Because my house is not ready to sell because it's not for sale.
I'm not selling it.
I also do my best to avoid saying, in my opinion,
No.
or I don't like that. I try to say, based on the data or based on my experience working with buyers just don't like this color.
Yeah.
We may need
Recent
to
buyer
neutral-
feedback has been showing.
Recent buyer feedback has been showing that buyers don't like purple walls.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Right.
speaking from a data. It's not, in my opinion, your house is only worth $400,000.
No, based on the recent solds, based on the market data.
Someone said, I wrote this one down. I heard another agent say it. She said, unfortunately, I've gotten really good at delivering tough news.
Yeah.
The day on market in your subdivision is between 6 and 9 months.
Yeah.
This is what we need to prepare and plan for.
Right.
So I think opening it with, unfortunately, I've gotten really good at delivering tough news.
Yeah.
This is what I have. This is my job. I have to tell you the truth. Now more than ever, we need to be preparing our sellers for what we see in the market. And I think you can do it in a professional way without sounding like a doomsday.
Yes. I mean, there is a fine line to walk here between I want you to be optimistic and and feel like if you did the work, it'll work. But I also need you to know that if you don't do the work, it might not work.
Sure.
Like, what's our plan B? Can you stay in this house?
Yeah.
Do you want to rent it? Because that might come to that. I also always say very often, typically if the price is wrong, then you don't get showings. But if the condition is wrong, you won't get offers. So like people come to the house, the price is probably right, but then they get there and you have 20, 30 showings with no offers. Well, it's something about the house, right? The condition has to be the problem. Currently in your fuzzy crystal ball market, though, I have a house that I know the price is right and they still don't come.
I know.
So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I just don't know what to say. She's like, I just don't understand. The other day I finally had to say to her, I don't understand either. Like, I don't know what's happening. The market is up and down. Days on market is increasing everywhere. Other agents sometimes I feel like that helps when I'm like, other agents are saying the same thing. It's not you. It's not you in your house.
The market's not picking on your house.
Yeah, it's not you.
It's the market as a whole.
But when someone is in duress, that doesn't really help. It's just all I can do. This is all I can do right now.
And sometimes that's all you can do, and all they want you to do is listen. And
I'm doing so much listening.
So much listening right now.
Oh, so much listening.
Well, speaking of, next question. What do you say when a client is getting extremely rude on the phone?
Yeah.
And maybe you have to instruct them to communicate via email or text. Do you have any stories or phrases that you use to remain professional and pleasant, but also set clear boundaries?
I mean, I will say, and the question also said when you fire a client.
Yeah, or if you fire.
If you're going to fire them.
I mean, really haven't fired many.
I have not fired many, but I have gotten close-ish and threaten-ish, not like in a mean way. But okay, here's some of my go-to phrases. I understand you were frustrated. Sometimes I'll even throw in, I am also frustrated. Like, I understand you're frustrated. Yes, that feedback from the agent wasn't very kind. Or no, I understand that you can't do this. Or I'll just say, I followed up and told them this. More than just being like, they're going to yell at me. I'll just be like, this is what I did. And sometimes you just have to be very matter of fact.
Yeah.
Be like, I am not a property manager. I cannot go to your property and clean it. Like, this is not part of my job.
I feel like you have such a good way of speaking calmly, and you're very soothing.
People do not want to see the other side of that mountain. I am so kind right up to the top of the mountain. And then if you still keep pushing and I have to get serious, it is not, I mean, I'm not going to like fly off the handle and start yelling curse words at someone, but I will get pretty stern and be like, this is it. We're not talking anymore. Like if it's gotten, I guess what this person is asking, like if you tell them you can't talk to them on the phone, at that point, they've been so rude to me that I will have said, I will not be spoken to this way. We will not talk on the phone anymore. This has only happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Where I was like, he was yelling at me. I'm like, I will not be yelled at. This conversation is going nowhere. No, I will not come pick up my sign out of your yard of a house that was under contract. That's not how this works. But I will speak to your wife or you can text me or email me. That is the end of the time that we will talk together.
Yeah.
This is it. I remember exactly where I was standing in my house. But it doesn't happen so often.
Sure.
You had one recently, I feel like this came to.
I did. It was a man owned the house, and his sister was the occupant, letting her live in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was sort of like my seller. She's the one that had to approve showings.
She had the access.
Yeah. So I sort of, and he didn't even live in the state. So I had to work around that. It got to the point where, and I had done so much work on the front end. It got to the point where I called him and said, listen, I don't know that I'm the right agent for you. And he was like, why? Please don't do this. And I said, no, it's just, I can't handle the way that she's speaking to me, the things she's asking me to do, the way that she spoke to my cleaning lady who she hired to go do the job. None of this is acceptable, and I can't do it. And he basically said, what if I move her out? Bring her to where I am, give you a vacant house. I said, that's the only way. And that's what had to happen. But I just knew this can't be happening.
Right.
You know?
So sometimes you just have, when you're at the firm place, I don't know that there's a nice way to, like, you just have to be matter of fact.
Very blunt, very matter of fact.
Like this, not wishy-washy.
No.
Like, we are not doing this.
Correct.
You are not talking to me this way. I am not doing whatever. The other one I like is to use the Chris Voss, never split the difference words. It seems like you're stressed. It sounds like you're not very happy. Like, it seems like you're angry that blah, blah, blah happened. And then just let them talk it out. So, I mean, that's the best you can do.
I know.
I'm not sure. Look, I think we've both gotten far enough. And if you're new to this business and you're, a little bit more desperate for the business, I get it. I've been there. People were much meaner to me in the beginning. And now I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I will not be spoken to this way. And I am grateful that I have that privilege now, that my business is good enough that I'm like, I don't have to do this. But I wish that I would have earlier on.
I know. I wish I would have learned sooner that people actually appreciate and respect a backbone.
Well, like, I don't have to take your listing.
I also try to think of it as, for example, I used to have this CPA, not anymore because they got so expensive, but they were so professional.
Yeah.
Too professional almost. But sometimes I thought, imagine if somebody spoke to that person that way. How would they respond? They'd be like, I'm sorry, you're not a client of mine anymore.
Right.
Like, why do we take it?
Right.
We need to be the professional. Like, think of somebody else in a respected profession. Think about walking into your doctor's office and speaking to them that way.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't happen.
No.
So why do we get to let it happen?
No.
We don't have to.
We don't have to. Okay, that was good. Next one. How would you handle clients that feel their home is worth more than the market indicates and are not listening to price recommendations, even when presented with market data that refutes their position and frank conversations from me, laying out things about market conditions, etc.?
I just had this seller. And I think to a certain extent, we all have this seller right now. They all want to believe their house is worth a little bit more. But the main thing too is that you're saying, when you're having that price conversation with them and you're saying, based on the data, your house is grossly overpriced, perhaps this much. I just sent an email this morning that said, hey, here's a updated market analysis. We are the highest price house. And in order to match the second highest price house, we would have to do a $30,000 price reduction. And that house, the second highest price house, isn't selling either.
Yeah.
And we need to use that as our guinea pig. We need to use them as our example. And so showing them the data, and I know she says, I did that. Well, guess what? I had a luxury home that, the seller thought the house was gold. And he wanted me to do the most outrageous marketing things. And I did some of them. And it got to the point, where I had to be like, Alyssa, if you say this, he may fire you. And I had to be like, that's okay.
That's okay.
I can't
I'll be free of this.
I'll be free. And I got to the point where I told him, I said, I'm not putting any more marketing resources into the house, into your house, and I'm not giving any more time or money until those bedrooms are painted, the dead bushes are gone, your landscape is tidied up, and we do a price reduction. When the things that I have told you have been problems are corrected, I will resume my marketing plan. But until you're done with your homework, I'm putting a pin in this. No more open houses, no more agent tours, no more flyers going out to the hospitals advertising your house. I'm not doing anything else until you do your part. I've done my part. It is your turn. And he did not fire me. And he did the things I asked. And then it sold.
Shocker.
But at some point, we have to say, I can't be the only one trying to sell your house.
Right.
So her follow-up question was, this seller is somewhat following house preparation advice, but just halfway. They don't want staging, I feel like unless a unicorn buyer comes along, this is going to be an exercise in frustration for everybody and end with them being unhappy. It's going to end with everybody being unhappy. You, them,
right?
Like everybody involved is not going to have a pleasant experience.
Right. My only note on this was, are you, though, as the agent, willing to ask yourself, is this a viable client? Mm-hmm. Even if you made a mistake and took the overpriced listing, maybe it's time to reach out and be like, hey, listen, the market's not responding to your listing. If you're not willing to come to this price, I think it's time for us to part ways. I don't know how to sell a home that is this much overpriced in this current market.
Correct.
You know, we tried. We can just part ways amicably, but this is it.
I think you would be so surprised at what their response would be.
They do the price change. They take your advice. They're like, wait, you're willing to just walk away from the money? Like, they know you didn't get paid.
Right.
And they're like, well, this must be serious. You're just like, I'll just leave.
I had a client a few years ago, and they were such sweet people. And they used to live in this house, and then they moved away to be closer to family and kept it as a rental. And they just weren't, they had been disconnected from our market so long, I did not realize that they had a price in mind. I thought, I'll go do my consultation and give them a price. So we go through the whole thing, and she mentions $475. And I went, I mean, we're at $330, maybe $350 all day long. Like, I would have taken it at $350.
But it would have been the high end.
It would have been, I'll take it at $350, but if after 2 to 3 weeks we don't have anything, we need to drop.
And they thought $475. What did you do?
I said, I cannot. There's nothing I can do. I have no comps to support it. No data. You can get an appraisal if you want, but I'm showing you these are the comps that an appraiser will use. There's plenty of comps in your neighborhood. And she wasn't upset at me, but she was like, wow, I just had no idea. I just really thought it was worth so much more. And I said no. And she said, okay, well, we're just going to rent it out again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Said, that's what needs to happen because I'm not taking it.
How long ago did it sell? Did it ever sell?
No, it hasn't been listed. So
how long ago was it?
That was about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So they're keeping it as a rental. And I'm even telling my sellers, like, make sure that you're ready to sell. And when the market is tough, if you can sit tight for a little bit, maybe you should.
Right.
Maybe it would be okay to wait until the beginning of next year and see how things are going. Have the interest rates dropped. Maybe you would get a little bit more. But if it's an urgent thing and, you know, you're relocating and this is how it has to be, it's how it has to be, and we'll come up with a plan.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the easiest sale.
No.
And I think it's okay to prepare your sellers for that. In fact, I think it's a necessity.
Yeah. I think sometimes, too, we forget that sellers sell for a lot of reasons, and it's not always to make the most money. So, like, if the comps don't support whatever that number is that they're saying, and you're able to be like, this is what will happen if you don't do the right price, sometimes they'll surprise you and be like, that's fine. I don't even mind if I lose money. Like, I bought it 3 years ago, and this is less, whatever.
I just had one totally surprise me. It is in a little bit of a cookie-cutter neighborhood, so his floor plan is duplicated throughout the neighborhood.
Okay.
And there's 3 of them on the market right now.
Well, that's an easy comp.
I know. I'm like, well, and they're 320, 325, 329.
Okay.
And then he's telling me while I'm at the house, I've already ran the comps, so I know this. He's telling me about his extended patio. He tiled his front and back porches. He added a whole house generator for $10,000. He tiled his shower. And I'm thinking, this guy is going to want to list for like $400. And I said, you have done some really amazing upgrades here. My only concern is that maybe we will have outpriced ourselves for the neighborhood. Your floor plan is for sale 3 times. 2 of them have a very high day on market right now, aren't selling. I'm not sure why. The pictures look good. I said, so I'm not sure this is the range. And he said, yeah, he said, I know it's really unfortunate that the market is what it is right now, because I really think if this was a normal market, I could list for like 350. And I'm like, I agree with you 100%, but unfortunately the data is just not there. He said, I know, let's just go in at 328. He was like, we'll be $1,000 less than the second highest.
But the nicest one, probably.
But the nicest one. So if they're looking at all 4 now, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow.
Very logical.
I haven't had a logical person
in a
in a very long time.
Wow.
I wondered if he saw the surprise on my face.
You're like, what?
I was like, really? You're not going to fight me? Because I would have been, if he would have said something like 350, I would have been like,
I can't take your listing?
No, I probably would have been like, would you do like 339? Knowing it's like 10,000 overpriced, but 10,000's in a range that I think we could still be looked at.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have to do that.
Thank goodness.
I showed him the data. And I had my laptop and I flipped through some of the pictures with him. And he was like, that kitchen's really nice. And I was like, yeah, they must have done the appliance upgrade.
Oh, my.
So it helped him, too, to see. But, yeah.
Okay. Our database template is the key to repeat and referral business, and it's free for you.
Your database is the foundation of successful business, and we want to help you get started.
Not sure who you would put on the list? Don't worry, we have ideas for you.
Grab your free database template and Who Do You Know list at hustlehumblypodcast.com/start here.
Where do you find your buyers and sellers? Do we buy leads or work for referrals? Let's disclaimer this one.
Do you buy leads or work referrals? You must be new here, friend.
I think they told us in the question they were pretty new.
Yeah, which is fine.
They haven't listened to all the episodes yet.
Hey, welcome to Hustle Humbly.
Hi.
Hey, we're listening, Katie.
Hey, what's up? Okay, so episode 38 is where we get our business. And now, granted, that was where we get our business 4 years ago.
You think it's changed?
You don't do Dave Ramsey anymore.
I don't know if I did 4 years ago, did I? Or maybe I had just quit.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay,
I feel like we may have talked about it in the episode, but honestly, haven't listened to it in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Point being, yes, we work by referral. Repeat referral. That's all I work now.
Yeah.
Yes, I have had an occasional sign call. I did hold an open house. If I happen to end up with a buyer or a seller from that, fine, but it's not like part of a marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
My marketing plan is give myself enough time to handle my past clients and their referrals and still be able to podcast 2 days a week.
Right.
So I can't be out there like getting online leads.
No.
And I don't want to work on the weekend if I can help it.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Any addition to that?
No, just people we know. And constantly meeting new people.
You are good about that.
Every time Haven's in a new class, I'm like, we have a whole new group of parents I got to meet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
New teachers.
You'll run out of those in a few years, though.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you'll have been in it with everyone.
Everyone.
I would think.
Yeah.
They'll add new students.
Then I'll just be the school realtor.
With any luck.
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to know if you could only spend money on one thing for marketing to your sphere. What would it be?
We both agreed on this one.
You agree with me?
I don't really have a lot that I spend money on. So this is my biggest investment each year.
Tell them what it is.
The holiday card.
Your holiday card.
It's very expensive to get them nice, to get pretty envelopes.
Postage.
The postage, the printing.
I mean,
it's a
you
lot.
do $500?
Yeah.
So you're spending like $1,000.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a big expense.
And it is my best one.
Yeah.
And I do try to really enhance it because I spend money by putting little personal handwritten notes in them and just making them a real valuable
you don't want them
out.
to forget
Yeah.
or not notice it. I said the same thing, and it is my biggest marketing expense.
Yeah.
And my database is significantly smaller, so I'm sending it to just under 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
So it still ends up being $500-$600.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, moving on. We're going to deal with conflict now.
Okay, they say, I would love to ask how you and Katie overcome rejection after you've done the very best for your client and they still think you're the bad guy. I love your answer for this.
Earlier, I was like, remove from database. Forget about them. Cash your check. Move on. I'm like, if I can finish the deal.
Yes.
And maintain any shred of dignity and sanity, great. But ultimately, I will just block them out of my brain. Thank God we're done and we don't ever have to talk to each other again.
Right.
Now, if someone rejects you and, well, this is saying you did a good job for them. If someone rejected you, like didn't hire you for the listing, I mean, yeah, it hurts, but you just move on.
Yeah, that's just part of it. And there are agents, especially new agents, that take this very personal.
I ain't got time for that.
And that's just a mindset thing that you're going to have to work on. We have a whole episode on overcoming rejection. Just Google hustle humbly overcoming rejection.
I will say this was much more difficult for me earlier on and before the podcast, when that was my only source of income. That was my like it's still my livelihood, but it is not my only business. So I feel a little less like, dagger to the heart.
Yeah.
And also I feel like I'm just more confident now, so I don't get that as much. I just don't get people outright rejecting me and telling me I'm doing a bad job.
Sometimes I feel relieved.
For sure.
Remember the lady who I made the video for about getting her pre-approved and I had to come here late that one day?
Yes.
Because I showed her houses?
Yes.
She sent me a random text that was like, hey, Alyssa, no hard feelings, but I've decided to use just like a really close family friend as my agent.
Okay.
I had a BBA signed. I had all that. I could have enforced it. And I just thought, it's okay.
Because she was going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't mesh.
We did not mesh at all. I was annoyed and I was prepared to keep working with her, but I wasn't about to beg for that. Like,
how did you get her?
She was a referral from somebody she worked with.
Okay.
So when she called me, she was like, hey, so-and-so gave me your name and number. They said you were great.
Yeah.
And I did invest some time in her, but I could also tell she's not a listener. She doesn't want to listen. She wasn't following advice.
Yeah, she didn't take your advice.
And it was very difficult.
She was a non-compliant client.
And I got to where I dreaded her phone calls. In fact, the day that she texted me that, I saw her name and went. But then I read it and then I thought, well, Alyssa, why are you upset?
Right.
Because you
not that we're going to stay on this long, but do you think she was the problem. To be clear, I understand that she was the problem. But do you think that she got that general feeling from you that you were dreading talking to her and she was like, maybe I need someone else?
I don't know. I feel like I was pretty chipper on the phone. I can fake it pretty well, but I had to tell her a few times, I understand what you're looking for. This is it. I don't have other houses.
She didn't like your answers. So she's like, I'll find someone else that gives me different answers.
She wanted a very specific thing.
Got it.
And it wasn't available.
Got it.
And
was it ever going to be available?
No.
So, okay, well, goodbye.
We're going to pray for her friend.
Good luck, friend. And you're not in the database. We're forgetting about them. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Forgotten.
Delete.
She's gone.
Delete.
Okay, do the next one.
When you are doing your best to be an ethical professional agent and you get wrongly accused by another agent or professional colleague, what do you do? Has this happened to you before?
Okay. I mean, not a lot. I feel like I can think of maybe one occasion, possibly the hint of a second. More often than not, this would be like a multiple offers. They're mad. They want to say that you sold it to your own client or something that's totally not founded. Most of the time, I would say I just don't do anything and I ignore it.
Yeah.
Like if you know that you are doing the right thing, then you don't need to justify this even with an explanation.
No, you don't. You just move on. Don't give too much mental energy to it.
No. And look, it really sucks to be accused of something, especially if you know you didn't do it. But also, why are they, like, kind of take it back. Why are they accusing you? What are they upset about? Did their client lose out on the property? Did you steal, I'm doing my air quotes, one of their clients? Like, what is it? Do you want to tell us about?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like multiple offers is when it happens.
Yeah, that's the only time I've gotten a real complaint by the people that didn't win.
And look, you have your chain of time, you have your data. So it's sort of like, I guess I don't give it much thought either because I am ethical.
Sure.
I'm not doing my best. I am ethical.
Yes.
I am actually, I don't have a doubt in my mind that I have made. Now, could I have made a mistake about something? Sure, but that's not the same as ethical.
Correct.
I have never done anything maliciously on purpose.
No.
I am such a rule follower that I am like worried that someone would one think that, or two, it would be true. Like I would never. All right, that's that. All right, how do you handle working with agents who are unprofessional and or don't play nice?
I just did this, and I just continued to use honey to get the deal done. And when they were rude to me via email and calling me a micromanager, I just said, I'm so sorry you feel that way. If I had an update for my client, I definitely wouldn't have to ask again. But I asked yesterday and I didn't get an answer, and I'm asking again. Thank you so much for responding today. The end. I mean,
Right.
don't stoop down to their level.
No.
Just don't do that. But episode 48 is taking the emotion out of real estate, and I think that will help a plethora of these questions that we have.
I mean, you typically can't win a battle with someone who is unprofessional, doesn't play nice, is unethical. Like, I can't get into like a war with you.
And I just mentally tell myself they won't be here much longer.
Let's hope. or if I come across them again, I'll do my best to not work with them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to deal with this person again. All right, let's move on to commissions, brokerage structure, and industry.
Okay.
Okie dokie. When taking a listing, do we get the seller to pay the buyer broker fee?
Well, I will share how I'm handling this right now.
I think it's the same as me, so tell us.
I am getting my commission in writing, and we are leaving buyer commission negotiable. I do have a net sheet that I have that I go over at the listing appointment with my sellers, where I'm like, you know, this is mine, this is the price. As far as these are other expenses that could come up. Buyers agencies could ask for anywhere between this and this amount. We could see any amount for this, so we need to budget accordingly. I'm also seeing buyers ask for closing cost or rate buy downs in this market. This is what I'm seeing in my contracts. So at the end of the day, we need to just counter to whatever you need to net at closing.
Yeah.
So I'm preparing them for what we will see in contracts.
Yeah.
Preparing them to be negotiable because they want to sell their house.
Yeah.
And I haven't yet had a seller who has been unwilling. Have you?
No, because they want the number at the end of the day. So what I'm doing on my net sheets is just a little different. I'm telling them exactly what you're saying. And on my net sheet, I'll just, in the spot where I put concessions, and I have always just gone and looked at the other houses that have closed recently and seen did they come down on price in this neighborhood? Did they pay concessions? Like what was going on? And then I just add in some amount that I think has been standard lately, or what I've seen come through on my listings for a buyer side commission.
Sure.
All of my listings recently have paid something.
Yeah.
So I'm using those numbers.
Yeah. So we're not offering a set amount.
No.
And when agents ask, is your seller willing to pay? I say they are prepared, but it's all negotiable and depends on what your buyer needs and the other terms of the offer.
And I've had it go like into where we're negotiating an offer, and I've had sellers, I just remind my sellers, you can counter any of the terms of an offer. You can counter the concessions, the price, the commission, whatever you want. They're all parts of the offer.
Sure.
And I've countered them all, and
it's gone quite well, if you ask me.
It's been fine.
Totally fine.
So whatever.
All right. Well, moving on.
Okay.
I would love to hear your thoughts. No, you won't. On revenue sharing brokerages. Sorry, I had to.
I can't believe you said that.
I'm sorry.
That's hilarious. Okay, continue the question, please.
Okay. I would love to hear your thoughts on revenue sharing brokerages. They are becoming bigger here in my area, and some agents seem to work harder at recruiting for their downline than they are working their actual transactions. I fear it is misleading, especially for new agents. But on the bright side, I do see some agents that seem to be using it as an opportunity to build a community of solo agents that share, support, and collaborate with each other. The agent recruiting and organizing The community has a vested interest that their agents they bring on board are successful, and the agents that have been recruiting are attracted to the community vibe. I appreciate that her question was written with positivity built in.
Right.
There's pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
I would say, look, and she brought up the things I would have said anyway.
Same.
What is your focus in your business?
Right.
And look, your focus could be being a solo agent or an agent on a team that's worried about just doing the most amount of transactions you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Your focus could be a solo agent or an agent on a team who wants to work a higher price range and do less transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Your focus could be, I would like to be a team leader and build a team, not necessarily in a revenue share.
Sure.
Or in a revenue share, whatever. Your focus could be, I want to open my own boutique brokerage one day, and this is what I'm growing. Your focus could be, I'm going to go to this new brokerage and do revenue share and recruit a downline and have this team all across the country, and we're going to collaborate in the magical world of collaboration. You can do all of those things. What do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on doing more transactions? Do you want to focus on doing less but a higher dollar value? Do you want to focus on developing humans, people? Do you want to manage people? Like, they're all different things.
Yeah.
So
It's hard for us to give our opinion because neither of us are interested in this.
I don't want to recruit agents.
No. I don't want pennies of residual income to distract me from my dollars of my real estate business that I make
Correct.
selling houses. I only want one job, which is also why I'm not a team leader or a broker, because my clients are hard enough.
Right.
I just want to sell houses and I don't want to chase anything else.
Right, because you could say goodbye to a buyer or seller at closing and literally not put them in your database.
Yeah,
but
it's
if you've
over.
built a team and if you've done anything that involves you hiring agents, then you either have to fire them or train them or like teach.
Yeah.
Like, they're here,
It's a lot.
and you're not going to get those all right. Now, does this work to get some residual income? I don't know how everyone is broken down.
Sure. I'm sure there are some better than others.
Look, and at this point, there are several companies that do it. And I will say, they've been mighty quiet lately.
Way quiet.
Do you know why?
The stocks are down?
Exactly. Exactly. When the stock market was up and all of the boom, and look, here's a secret, y'all. Real estate stock, no matter what it is, for tech or real estate companies or whatever, goes up and down based on the market of how many houses are selling. So when the economy and we're going to get to your econ. I think we've already done.
Episode.
Actually, we've already done econ. So they can
good.
go back to Econ 101 for real estate if you want to listen to this. But it does not matter how great that real estate. Look, and I was at Remax, y'all. This is a publicly traded company and has been since the 70s. And the profit is up and it's down. Because you know why? I can't, no matter how great my agents are, no matter how wonderful my brokerage is, it doesn't matter if something is impacting the market, like an interest rate or COVID or housing bubble that's because of lending practices.
I have to share that one story.
Tell me.
You've heard it. But this is when it was like 2014, 2015. I'm a few years in. I'm getting awards at the board and like everyone's like, who's this 20-year-old selling all these houses? And then one day on Facebook, I look and I have 7 or 8 DMs in my Facebook Messenger.
Right.
And I'm like, what? This is weird. And I look and they all say almost the same thing.
Oh, scripty.
Hey, Alyssa, just seeing if you had time for coffee. Would love to chat, blah, blah, blah. Maybe some compliment thrown in. You're so great at what you do, da, da, da. And I don't know a lot of these people except one of them.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So I call her. I'm like, Susie, you just messaged me on Facebook asking me for coffee along with 7 other people. Do you want to explain to me how this happened?
Going on?
How did this happen within the same 30-minute period? And she got a little sheepish on me and was like, I was at a training at our office and it was a recruitment training and he kind of used your numbers as an example
Of how much money they could make off of you?
of if somebody recruited Alyssa to join this office, this is how much money you would have made last year if Alyssa would have fallen under your umbrella.
I also love that they went straight to literally one of the top individual agents in the market. So it's not like you're just recruiting anybody. Let's go straight to the top.
I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
And also thought to myself, when I go to training at my real estate office, I want it to be to understand the listing agreement and the changes in the property.
How can I serve my client better?
How can I serve my client, not recruit and da-da-da. So again, it just goes to show it's two different jobs.
These are two different things.
We don't do it at our office. And I just think it's important to understand.
Yeah, because just like I have said before, what you focus on grows.
Yeah.
So if you get very focused on a recruitment angle at a brokerage and being like, I'm going to build my downline, I'm going to get revenue sharing, I'm going to get stock options, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to have a different stream of revenue.
Again, how much time do you want to put into it?
Right. Do
how
you
many
have the
agents
time?
would you have to recruit?
Could you have spent that time talking to your database?
Correct.
If that's what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And actually know the math. That is the other thing that bothers me.
Yes.
Is it sounds great, but I want you to literally know the math. If I recruit Sarah and she makes this, this is what I make. If I recruit Alyssa and she makes this, this is what I make.
I think you would be shocked at how small those numbers are.
And again, this is like putting all your eggs in the same basket. If the market tanks, it's probably going to tank for Sarah and Alyssa and you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, maybe you would have been better off spending the extra time you had on a different side hustle.
Yeah.
Something that you could actually maintain.
I also think you just need to be careful because, like, I know which agents work at companies like that, and I'm more leery to have coffee with them or lunch. Like, when you called me years ago to have coffee lunch, that was in a time when I was being heavily recruited from all sides.
And you were like, this random Remax agent.
And I was like,
what does she want?
But I knew
what could she
she's
want?
not recruiting me because she's not at one of those companies. So I happily had lunch with you, and here we are.
Yes, I have never recruited an agent in my life.
Me either.
Couldn't say how to do it. I mean, I have my thoughts, but
yeah,
I'm not trying to.
Sure.
Now, I do want to, let's revisit on a positive note. She ends with this. She likes that they're kind of creating a community, they're collaborating together, they're giving a nice vibe. I mean, I would argue that you could do that without being in the same downline.
Yeah.
But if you feel like there are agents out there, I see them. You know why I see them? Because they pay for ads on Instagram and Facebook who have built insanely huge, I'm doing my air quotes, teams, because I don't even know what they call it.
Right, like mini brokerages.
Yeah, when they do their downline and it's all the people all over, right?
Yeah, their umbrella.
And then they have run these ads because, of course, they can get agents from any market to join their
umbrella
to get under the umbrella.
Yeah.
And I often am like, this is a gift, again, a different business.
Sure.
You're running ads to get agents and then you're training. Like, that's fine. But also, that big brokerage had a, right. That big brokerage, wherever you were, I can assure you, I know the big three that do this. They all also have in-house training.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need Susie to recruit me for her training.
Right.
I could have gone right to the training.
Yeah.
But look, maybe they all get together on Zoom and they work together. Look, we have a community through the podcast.
Sure.
You can join it.
Yeah. If you're trying to do it to get rich, there's better ways.
Yeah, if you really do need more community. But again, I feel like maybe it's just serving the fact that if we're cloud-based, we're searching for community.
That's a good point.
So it's like
cloud needs more community.
Yeah. Now, not all of the revenue share companies are cloud-based.
Right.
But maybe that's why it comes up more.
Sure.
Regardless, stock market doesn't look great. So this is not something I would spend a lot of time on.
I'll just keep selling houses.
Just sell some houses.
Okay.
That would be probably the best way to go.
Are we even going to be able to finish all these questions?
Look, we're at the end.
Oh, good.
We can do this. We can do this.
If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about the real estate industry today, what would it be?
I don't know. Tell me yours.
Barrier to entry. I wish
such a good one.
It was so much harder to get your license.
That's a really good one.
I wish the requirements were stiffer. I wish people understood what they were getting into.
I would like to rewrite the curriculum for a real estate school.
Yeah.
I would like for agents to take more time and more money to get into it.
More investment, take it more seriously.
I know. I really loved the appraiser. They had to apprentice.
Yes.
And there were like rules of that. I think that would be great.
Would be perfect.
we can't be all running around here all rogue.
I know. So many people got their license in COVID. They left their corporate job, quickly got their real estate license because they were suddenly unemployed.
Yep.
Jumped in, made a bunch of messes, made the realtor name look bad, quickly got out of real estate and left people who have been in it forever to clean up the mess and be like, no, realtors are good. I promise. We are professionals.
I know. If I could wave a magic wand, I would remove every agent who is unprofessional, unethical, working part-time because they don't care, not because they have to, because they need I get we're not going to get into the part-time thing, but honestly, if I could wave the wand and all these extra people were out, then I think there'd be enough business for everyone to do it full-time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we're over here trying to bring professionalism back to the realtor brand one episode at a time.
Right. That was such a good one.
It's sort of like we're treading water over here.
Oh, all right. Next up. Next section is the transaction-specific situations.
You want me to read it?
Go.
I'm doing my first ever new construction deal. It's a townhouse and it's already complete, but I'm learning that new construction is really hard to understand. The builder says that he will send me the contract and it's 30 pages. Is there anything I should watch out for in terms of pitfalls that have happened to you or that you've heard of? I want to be sure I do the best possible job for my client.
I mean, I'm going to say this is a hard thing for me to say, but you have to read the whole contract.
You do.
And that's a lot to have to weed through.
Get your highlighter.
You're going to have to, number one. Number two, you have to do your own inspections. I understand that most municipalities have like certain inspections that they're doing during new construction. But when it is complete, you need a third-party inspector that your buyer chose to actually do the inspection.
Yes.
And do your blue tape walkthrough or whatever you're doing. And then episode 119 is the one where we interviewed a builder. And I thought that one was good.
Helpful tips for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys charge upfront for staging, or was it part of the listing agreement where you get paid on the back end?
Okay, episode 35 is Stage to Sell, and episode 73 is our staging closet. And I have only done a full house staging with furniture in it one time.
Me too, one time.
It was luxury listing, and my client paid for it up front. Now, we both have some staging items in our inventory that I let my clients use, in quotes, air quotes, for free.
Yeah.
If you're my listing, I will bring this stuff to your house.
Right.
I will also bring it to an occupied house if there's a couple of things we need to fill in the blanks for. I have brought a coffee table and bar stools to plenty of houses. I don't own a whole house worth of furniture.
No.
And now we might be getting back to this, but it really is market depending on how much staging is needed.
Yeah.
And I feel like virtual staging is so much better now than it used to be. That maybe it's going okay. Like, I wouldn't really be considering staging with furniture in a vacant property unless it had a confusing floor plan and had been sitting.
Yeah.
Or I thought it was going to sit and we did it beforehand. But I would always make my seller pay it.
Yeah, not something we're
up
going to
front.
pay for.
It's because that's thousands of dollars.
That you may not get. Yeah.
Right. I don't think so.
We're moving on to skills and success traits.
Okay.
What is the most underrated skill every good agent needs, but no one talks about? Problem solving.
No, that's what I said.
Oh.
That's my answer. You're reading my answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
Problem solving skills.
Problem solving, yes.
Creative thinking and math. Y'all.
Basic math.
Some of it's a little heavier than basic. And if you can't work with percentages, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
I need you to know how to do the math that comes up that is honestly the only good thing that I learned in real estate school was the practical application of the math I would be doing on the job.
Yeah.
And you better know how to do math. And if you are uncomfortable with math, I'm worried.
Yeah.
But problem solving skills and creative thinking, that's your whole function. How do we get around whatever the roadblock is? Episode 77 is the real estate virtues. I love that one so much.
So good.
It talks about all of the skills and qualities an agent needs. And then episode 129 is how to be a good co-op agent.
Yeah, that one has really good advice on things to do to...
Do you have any other skills you think a good agent needs?
I think as many agents are spiraling right now, you have to learn how to have some emotional, who's the bachelorette that always talked about emotional intelligence?
Oh my God, yes.
But in all seriousness, the emails and people that have been confronting us lately are all struggling with taking things so personal.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't do that and survive.
It's not about you.
You have to learn how to rein that in and not take it personal.
Yeah, because you will burn out from the emotion. And look, to be fair, I think we've had several episodes recently where you can see we are also on the verge of burnout sometimes from the emotional toll of our clients.
It's a huge emotional toll.
All right, last one.
What are you seeing with buyers and sellers in the political climate? I've had one buyer put their search on hold due to uncertainty.
I think that I'm not going to talk on the political climate, but on an if something is going on in the world or in the economy, obviously it affects the market.
Yes.
So
as you learned in econ last week.
Right. So you can go back to the econ episode because I don't really I don't have something I'm specifically seeing with buyers or sellers.
Anytime there's uncertainty, there's going to be pauses that are had. I've had a lot of people that work at LSU or state-funded programs that are like, we're going to put it on hold.
Yeah, because they're worried about their job.
They are worried about their job. They're waiting to see what's going to happen. Are they going to relocate? Are they going to stay put? So yeah, I think the economy and the environment definitely plays a role in people's decision-making.
For sure. People are leaving here pretty quickly and going to certain states.
Yeah.
So you may be in a state where people are coming to and it is impacting you, or you may be in a state where people are leaving, also impacting you.
Also, yes.
Take more listings, I guess. Good luck with those.
Listings, yeah.
Good luck with those. Yeah. I mean, it's always changing. And I think what you said about the crystal ball, the fuzzy crystal ball, it applies here.
For sure.
Right now, it honestly feels like absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Every day is different. The news is wild. People are behaving strangely. I don't know. Even like the simplest things that I used to know, I don't even know anymore.
Right.
I'm like, wait, is the bond market going to do better or is it not?
I don't know.
I don't know. So go back to econ, I guess, and see what we thought about it in that one. But bless us.
I know. We're going to make it through.
One could only hope. All right. That's all we have on questions.
Okay. Woo.
That was a lot.
Good questions, guys.
Hey, thanks, y'all. That was very helpful. And here is a toast.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Zavala, and I'm here from Dallas, Texas. And I like to cheers to my mentor, Naomi.